He wanted it. He's gotten it. He's talked about it week after week on Wrestling Zero TV that he wanted a solo appearance on Sportswire Radio. Well, guess what? You got it. We're going to talk about the man that's going to enter here shortly and talk about what the syndicate has been doing. It's decimated virtually the entire Wrestling Zero roster, where it's almost left us with, well, what's next and what's ahead? We'll get you primed for that. We'll get you ready for the next show, Warzone. And we'll certainly tell our guest about what he will be doing, which is defending his championships. We'll be talking about what the syndicate has done and, well, what's left. And maybe there was something that the syndicate failed to achieve. We'll get into that. Plus, maybe we'll even bring up some familiar names that, well, let's just say one guy starts with an ace, and our guest also referring to himself being the GOAT, and that includes being over a king and a headline and unholy and just everybody else in between. Plus, who knows whatever else. But since we're here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that, well, our guest and all of you most certainly helped build Sportswire Radio to the tune of nearly 1,500 subscribers. And in the words of Def Leppard frontman Joe Elliott, let's get rocked and let's start this show off in style, because I see the chat is here. The chat is starting to come in. And our guest will come in and he will address what he wants. I will certainly give him some answers. But until then, as we always do, it's time to start the show in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one cable sports show. A man that is the leader of the syndicate. He is the Oyabun. He is the reigning, defending PXW and Wrestling Zero champion, recording artist, voiceover artist, and movie star. His name is, simply put, Yoshimatsu. The champ is here. How are we?
I'm fine. I've never
Just
been
fine?
better.
Could be better, could be worse. Just another
I'm
day.
always fine.
You're always fine. Well, you got 2 championships. You've decimated virtually the entire Wrestling Zero roster. And you're going to certainly tell us about that. You're going to tell us about a number of different things. And we'll get everybody to what's ahead here coming up very soon at Warzone. But before we do that, I'm going to ask you this question. For those that are listening and watching in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you, Yoshimatsuda, alongside the Syndicate and Wrestling Zero have most certainly helped build, Sportswire Radio to the tune of nearly 1,500 subscribers. What's left?
There's nothing left.
Nothing left.
All that has been done by my syndicate is very simple. We have ruled. We have decimated. I am your PXW and Wrestling Zero champion. I am the man who has conquered Australia, conquered Nippon. I have become the GOAT, the undisputed, the undeniable, the undefeated. I am the man who beats your best. And Tom, the question is, where were you to stop me?
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. We're going to certainly find out. And every good poker player never tips his hand. But let me ask you, I mean, why have you done what you've done to this roster? I mean, this roster, I mean, as I asked you, what's left? I mean, why have you decided to do this here over the last month and change?
I sat at home, retired, realized that I didn't want to go out the way I went out. And you know what?
What?
I realized that I didn't need these people. And I said it last time I appeared last year that I'm not nice. I'm not going to cater to these internet weebs that sit here pretending that there's something when they're not. The thing is, I told you all, I don't do this for respect anymore. I don't do this because I'm your friend. I do this because I don't give a damn about anyone but myself. I am doing this not for her. She means nothing to me. I think everyone's realized that over the past few months, that I did this for myself. I no longer care about anyone in this entire world because at the end of it, it's all me. I made myself relevant. I made myself a high status recording artist. I made myself double champ. The thing is, not even Hideo Utai could have seen what was coming. And I made sure that my empire and my legacy will be remembered for centuries.
Now, I give you the music part. I give you being a recording artist. I take nothing away from that. But couldn't you have done this without what you've done here in Wrestling Zero? Without the demands, without decimating men that we don't see right now currently? I mean, couldn't you have just done it way you'd done it in the past? I mean, it worked before. I mean, why have you done what you've done here this season so far?
It's simple. I have no need for mercy, for your concept of kindness. I'm doing this for myself. And what I did was necessary. Like Izanagi said a long time ago, evil is necessary for peace to be brought forth. I do what's necessary. The things that are shunned by society. The things that these people, they wish they could do in their minds, but I'm the one that brings it to a fruition. The thing is, this is business. There's no personal vendettas anymore. It's just about money. Well, I guess it's a bit personal, but they made it personal. They made it personal when I was forgotten, when I was overlooked, when I was left in the dust after I retired. And now I'm back, and people are scared. I'm not here to talk. I'm here to do business, and I'm here to be your forever champion.
Well, we're going to find out. I'll certainly put up some Wrestling Zero links in a few minutes, and we'll certainly rewind and go to what'll lead next later on, which is Warzone. We'll get everybody ready for that in a minute. But you call yourself a martial artist rather than a wrestler. And why do you refer to yourself as a martial artist rather than a wrestler?
Because I was a martial artist before I was a professional wrestler. I was trained by my father, who was a martial artist before he was a professional wrestler. Tanga Tapu Tanga, Tuamalu, my grandfather and my father, trained me. I lived in Japan as a child. I grew up. I became a warrior. I fought legitimately before I went into the scripted area, and I became something. The thing is, I am more a martial artist than I will ever be a pro wrestler. Because the thing is, I can take the hits and I can dish it back. I've bled legit and proved myself time and time again. I fought Alex James at Battle Force and I proved myself. This is no longer about professional wrestling. This is about me decimating people legitimately and showing why I'm better than them. These pro wrestlers can talk mad on my name, but the thing is, I bleed legit. I am a man of my word, and not once have I lied. Tell me when I'm telling lies. The thing is, unlike a certain Pepsi can, I'm a man who can back my words with action and conviction. I can't say the same for these peanut earning pro wrestlers. I earn big bank, Tom. I earn big bank to wrestle on a trampoline. The thing is, you have no concept of business, professional wrestlers. You have no idea what it takes to run a business. All you do is sit on your asses typing on the internet, oh, he's shit, oh, he's shit. Well, guess what? How about you come to Australia? How about you come to Japan? And I prove myself in a legitimate area.
Well, I would certainly like to see different people go out there and compete against you, but I'll leave those people to what they would want to decide to do. But
The thing is, Tom, they
yeah.
won't come. They won't
And why do
come
you think that they won't come? Why do you think that they won't come?
because I'm not worth their time. But the thing is, they know that I earn more than them. And I've said this entire thing, it's about money. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. And the thing is, they don't have a concept of what money looks like. Money can do a lot of things.
Hmm.
It certainly doesn't buy happiness, but it's made me very happy. The thing is, I've made it clear that I'm an asshole, that I'm an egotistical bastard, blah, 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 blah. But the
Yeah,
thing
but
is,
every wrestler is that though. Every wrestler that
I
comes
know.
on here, listen, I've been doing this 6.5 years, right? I've had wrestler after wrestler all over the place say the same thing. They tell me, yeah, they're in it for the money, they're in it for the championships, they're in it for this, they're in it for that. I mean, so whether you compete against these people or not, everybody's going to say the same thing. They're going to say vice
Indeed.
versa. But let's focus on wrestling zero. Let's focus on what you've even done in building the syndicate. I mean, you built this syndicate really through tough love. I mean, let's talk about the syndicate and why you built this group the way you did.
Well, it's very much we are Bodhiokudan. There's a certain Y word that you Westerners and common Japanese like to call us. Yakuza. We are very much not a criminal syndicate, but borderline on that. We've done what we've done, and I've given these boys tough love. I gave them an opportunity to stand with me or stand against me, and well, MB or Hamada and Robbie Ryan have proven themselves. I beat them down and I initiated them into my family. Gave them a place where they can belong, where they can rule, and they can gain everything that they dream of. As long as they help me achieve my goals, their position is safe. The thing is, the Matsuda clan is back. The Matsuda clan is now side by side with the Ryan dynasty. All members of the Ryans are Matsuda. And Hamada, he's just an insurance policy. May have betrayed me, but he's proved himself worthy. I have put these boys through hell because they have worked for it. These boys are the ones that I see being in my place one day. So obviously, your Oyobun has to take a step that's necessary to test them. My goal is simple: decimate, destroy, and rule. There will be no competition left for us. And these men have seen to it that no one will stand in my way. Ragnar Longreign is gone. Red Wonder's disappeared. Mighty Fish is gone. Hennigan's next. And then Ace Reed.
Oh, we're gonna
And
get
once
to
we're
Ace Reed.
done,
We are gonna certainly get to Ace Reed in a little while as
but
we have
once
the
I'm
YouTube
done,
link up here. Yep, and we'll get into some of the matches. But no, listen, let's talk about though what you've done to some of these names. Ragnar Longreign, he's who knows? Mighty Fish. Let's not even go there, but we will. And you mentioned Red Wanda. We were talking about this off the air. So really, I mean, what you guys have done to these people, I mean, I don't even know why they would want to come back.
that's the thing, they're out on the injury reserve list. I don't want them to come back. I'm going to ensure that I am the last man standing. I told everyone I was going to destroy what Faye built. Not because, it's out of love, it's out of necessity. It's because I need to destroy this to cement myself as the true greatest, to be the death of Australian wrestling. And then I can return to Japan. I can conquer the circuit there. I can become a legend. But for the time being, you're just going to watch everything burn to the ground. And obviously, Ragnar. Just saying his name pisses me off.
Well, we're showing
He
some
learned
footage
his lesson.
here. Yep, we're showing some footage here, and obviously you want to burn everything to the ground, though. I mean, why would you want to burn everything to the ground, considering you talked about you're here to make money? You're here to do this, not like everybody else. So why burn this to the ground if you're making money? You're making bang. Everybody's making bang and coin. And why? Why?
Because
Why? Why burn it to the ground?
my business is my own. My business is mine to not show, to hold close to my chest. And once it's revealed, people will realize. People seem to forget that BWDU still exists. And
Yes,
I'm the general manager.
it does exist. Yes, and that's certainly a topic I'll get to at a different time, and that's obviously a different show. Which yes, you have seen and you've been a part of, and Wrestling Zero Talent have certainly been front and center for. But
And
right
I'm the
now we're
general
here.
manager. That's
Well,
the thing.
yeah. So you would rather see BWDU then succeed rather than
Oh,
Wrestling
no.
Zero?
BWDU will fall as well.
But
I'm
you're the
talking
general manager
scorched.
there, though.
I'm talking scorched earth. I'm going
Well,
to tear it all down and then rebuild it in my own
well,
image.
if they build it, they will come, I suppose. And right now, we are here with Yoshimatsu Matsuda, who is the PXW champion, the Wrestling Zero champion, and he is a part and the leader of the Matsuda Syndicate. And the Matsuda clan is certainly showing why that they hold force here in Wrestling Zero. And if you're here right now, hit a sub button for Wrestling Zero. We are on that road to Warzone, and we are talking plenty here over the next as long as Matsuda wants to hold server. Mr. Matsuda, I want to ask him because you mentioned Sportswire several times the last few weeks. You talked about favorite wrestlers. I don't know if I really have favorite wrestlers. I think there are people that come on the platform, and I think people can decide who they like and who they don't like. That's up to them. I will say, though, that you've certainly referenced the platform. You've wanted this time. You've gotten this time. And what do you want to say about this platform? You feel you've been overlooked. You feel that you should be here more. You're here right now. And I'm actually giving you the opportunity to say whatever is on your mind first.
I told you I had questions, but you just answered them all for me. Tom, I have so much respect for you. You have done so much for us, and as Commissioner of Thunder, I was confused as to why you didn't make an appearance. But I know you've been working behind the scenes, working your ass off to deliver a product that's worthy of these fans. But my question for you, and I want to ask a question: did you have a hand in Tom Hennigan's attack on Alex James?
Any good poker player, they don't tip their hand. Just like you said on Wrestling Zero TV that in due time you would reveal certain things. We'll let the public figure that out when that time comes. So that's my answer to your question, sir.
I knew you'd pull something like this. And that's fair, you know? We're sitting across as equals once instead of a power disparagement. But I see you as a man of great conviction, a man who is not scared to stand up to those who are perceived as wrong. But Tom, do you truly believe I am wrong? Do you truly believe that what I am doing is evil? Because
I
I know
don't.
deep
I
down
well.
you agree.
I'm gonna actually answer that for you because listen, you're like everybody else that's been on here. You're like everybody else. You do things for your reasons. I'm not going to be the judge of what's evil and what's not evil, but what I will say is that some of the things that you have been doing in Wrestling Zero, you have certainly been putting members of the roster on the shelf. And as you did say, to whether you're right or wrong, you do want to put an end to Wrestling Zero and burn it to the ground and build it in the way you'd like to see it. So right now, really what the discussion is about what is the future of Wrestling Zero? What is the future after members of the roster? We listed a few of those names. We see one of them right here, and we don't know what this future is because you have gone, whether it's right or wrong, whether it's evil or not. I'm not the judge of what's evil and not. I'll let people interpret that, yourself included, into whatever way that is. But right now we are concerned about the future of Wrestling Zero here, especially going into Warzone, because you said it yourself. There's almost nothing left to do. There's nobody left on the roster, and that does impact whether you agree or not. That impacts the bottom line of the company, which, well, you want to make money. We don't make any money if there's nobody left to go out there and have you schedule a match with.
That's where you're wrong. I have so many stars lined up, ready to take the place of those that are lost. And they're all Matsuda Ryu. The thing is, the Matsuda Ryu is not just 3 or 4 or 5 members. We span hundreds. I lead an empire. And the sooner people realize that, the quicker we can get on with our lives and they can watch the new form of Wrestling Zero take over, the next generation.
But how can we be so sure that that next generation is going to be as successful as what's gotten us here? What's gotten us to the
You
deal?
underestimate me.
Well,
You
you
underestimate
tell
what
me.
I've
You
done
tell
for
me.
17 years.
Well, I do have the microphone, so I will ask you that question. How can you be so sure whether you agree with me or not agree with me? This is a company that has a sponsorship. You talked about money, right? We make money at Wrestling Zero, right? We have the deals, we have the business contracts, right? You talked about that. Correct. You're absolutely correct on that. But if you want to remake Wrestling Zero in this way you'd like, champ, there's no guarantee that this Wrestling Zero you'd like to remake or reimagine is going to be as successful as the one we have at the moment. Well, what's left of it?
Everyone's so stuck on Kumiko. What she's built. What about what I built? What about what I did with Wrestling Zero originally? What about what I did when I worked my ass off to make this company with Tom Hennigan? Everyone seems to forget me. Everyone seems to forget me and puts her on a pedestal. And she did the same for me. She put me on a pedestal. Yet I realized that I was the one who was being overlooked. And now I'm going to do a full takeover. I'm going to head the company as CEO, as Oyabun. And I'm going to rebuild, restructure, and reorganize this into my own empire. Because everyone has underestimated my power. And they don't want me to try this, but I'm going to. And at the end of it, it will be better than it has ever been.
Well, right now, that's certainly going to be a question that remains to be seen. But certainly, that future at the moment doesn't include Ragnar Longreign because, well, he's going to have a long reign on the shelf because our guest here is going to certainly, let's just say, take him to outer space here as we're seeing. So there's no question that we are seeing syndicate members here just line up and decimate members of our roster here in Wrestling Zero. And that's what we're seeing. But, there is something else that you actually haven't claimed yet, sir, before we get to the chat. We'll let them have an opportunity to speak with you here in a few minutes. But I have noticed there is something that you haven't captured, and it's those tag team championships. And certainly you guys tried to be world class, but it didn't quite work out to your favor. And I have to bring up those tag team championships because that might be the one thing left standing in the way of a full syndicate takeover.
You love to push me. Put me to my
I gotta
limits.
bring it up. I gotta bring it up. Listen,
End.
that's business. That's you guys didn't get the tag championships. You wanted them. You wanted those titles. Could you have imagined if you were here tonight, right? And you were here and you had not only the PXW championship, right? The Wrestling Zero, one half of those tag team championships. I mean, you basically would have answered what you would have said on Wrestling Zero TV a few weeks ago that you were the GOAT. You would have said, forget about the headline, forget about the king, forget about the rage. You talked about unholy, forget about all of that. You would have basically, and we wouldn't even have to have a conversation right now. I mean, that's, if you would have had those tag team championships, you better believe you would have had those championships with you. You would have had them.
The thing is, Ace didn't pin me. He pinned Robbie. Robbie was pinned. I am still undefeated. I am not at a loss. And my family is stronger than ever. Robbie was the one who failed, and he learned his lesson. I will not go into details, but Robbie is now more loyal than ever. Let's just say actions have consequences in this family. And his failure, a great failure, cost him greatly.
That's an interesting point that you just made. Actions have consequences. There was an old expression which you basically said the same thing, that actions speak louder than words. And that obviously is a consequence. But I have to ask you objectively, with syndicate members, I mean, they don't really have much of a say on things. They don't really have much of a say in this group. So it's basically, if they don't do what you want, well, they're going to join the list of Mighty Fish and Ragnar Longreign and Red Wander. They're going to basically join them, right? So basically, they have no choice but to put up or shut up. And right now, that is something that bothers you.
No, it doesn't bother me because I'm doing what's necessary to keep my family together. We weed out the weak, we keep the strong. But the thing is, Robert is strong. A mere setback will not stop him. You see, the tag titles will be ours. But in time, I told Robert after this match that the moment I get the main championships, the tag team titles will be a cakewalk. You see, Ace talks about being the GOAT. Ace
Yeah.
blabs around with his 5 belts while he's whoring himself out the title belts. I have 2. I am making 2 belts relevant and not jumping companies. Have you seen me wrestle in BWDU yet? No,
No.
no,
No.
because I am loyal to one place, the place that made me. I'll never go
Mm.
anywhere else
So you're
until
saying to
I'm
me
ready.
that Ace Reed, he's not putting ducks in one basket. Really, you're almost comparing him to other people that come on here, that they go here, they go there, but really, you've made a name in one place, whereas Ace, he he's not focused on his own home, and that's you'd rather be the guy with 2 championships rather than 5. That's what that just sounds to me.
Indeed. And that also plays into this dynamic in the tag match. I was here to hurt people. And you could see it. I work with King Chaos. Not even a well, I mean, got the best of me there. But the thing
Oh, it's
is,
humor, everybody, humor. Go ahead.
Ace didn't pin me, neither did King Chaos. At the end of the day, the syndicate is my family. I am the leader.
But you
I
guys
make the
didn't win the
difficult
match,
choices.
though. No,
No,
I
we
hear
didn't.
you.
It was a
But you,
setback. We're going for them again, but in time. My goal was always to win the Wrestling Zero Championship and the PXW title. My next belt will be that World Heavyweight Championship. But for the time being, I play things very slowly. I make sure that I am doing things meticulously. In every single little detail, I pay attention and I make sure that it goes our way. You can see here that I am trying to ensure that we continue. But they continue to foil us. That's the thing about world class. They foil me at every single point.
well, you listen. We've had you here in the past. Ace has definitely been a rival of yours. We've talked about it with you and Ace. We've talked about it both of you separately, and there's no question that he's somebody that you've obviously got some loose ends to tie.
1-1.
Yeah, we talked about it
Ace
here with
and
both men.
I.
We talked about it. You were here, he was here, and we still don't know who's the better man. We don't know if that rubber match would take place and just who would win. And that's obviously something that's on the minds of a lot of people that are on this platform.
I'm not even going to answer that because we all know who'd win.
Well, we haven't had the match, so we don't know really
We don't need a
technically.
match, Tom. We don't need a
No,
match. After
no.
what I've done in the past few weeks, it's evident.
So
I'm better
maybe
than
he
Ace.
shouldn't even want. He should maybe relinquish those tag team championships. What you're saying to me is that,
No, 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 no. Because my Kobun can handle him. I have no time for him.
but you
I'm
wouldn't want him
focused.
to. You wouldn't want him to relinquish those tag team championships and just save the energy, save him the pain.
I want to see him destroyed. I want to see him decimated. And that's what my Kobun will do. When we get the chance, when I make the call, again, I make the call, they will do so.
Well, I mean, the board of directors will certainly decide some of that as well. I mean, there's
Hideo's been fired. Hideo is nowhere to be seen.
well, everybody at this point in wrestling, or you might actually be turning
Disappeared.
this. You might be turning this into WCW, but obviously, in the meantime, we're hoping it's not going to be WCW. But we are watching some of the tag team championship match that took place in the previous episode of Wrestling Zero before the last one that's out. We're also getting everybody ready for Warzone that's coming up, and Matsuda will be in action for that. He will be defending a championship. I do, before I want to get to the chat, I want to, because she's here and it's her birthday, Mama Comatose. I know we'll get to Comatose. I know he's here. I know he's here in the chat. I see some familiar names you might want to address, but I do want to wish her a very happy birthday, because I technically wished her a happy birthday before, maybe even her own son, because I wished it he was here a week and a half ago, and she said, no, my birthday's today, and I wished her birthday. I think 3 times I wished her happy birthday on her son's post, her post, and then I wished it on her wall. So she was very kind to like my video on Facebook. I have no idea why, but happy birthday, Mama Comatose, and
Happy birthday.
have a wonderful day. But obviously, we'll get to some of that here in a few minutes. I'm going to get to the chat in a minute, and yeah, she reminds me this time it is her birthday. So I'm glad I got somebody's birthday once. But listen, I mean, there's no question right now that Ace Reed is on your mind a little bit. I could hear it in your voice. His name came up tonight. Well, I know you might want to cough or two a bit because he seems like that one guy when I mentioned the other names. Mighty Fish. Let's not even spend a minute or two on that. Ragnar Longreign. We showed the footage, right? But then we talk about this tag team championship match that we have here in Wrestling Zero's second to most recent episode, and you had a little different tone. I heard in that voice.
Well, I need to do what's necessary. And yeah, we lost. I'll admit that.
You
My
don't like
syndicate
to lose.
took an L. No.
You don't like to lose.
Hell no. We are meant to be on top. We are meant to be the goats. I am meant to be the goat. I didn't get pinned. We all need
I
to remember
understand.
that.
I understand that, but you didn't. I know you've explained already, but you still didn't walk away with those tag team championships. And Ace has 5 belts, and you would certainly like to have taken 1 belt away from him, 4-3, and then you take away what's his. I mean, you got them all here in one place, and you're the man. I mean, that's
Robbie
just
got
how it
too
goes.
overconfident. Robbie got too overconfident during that match. And
Maybe Robbie.
lost us.
Well, I mean, that's why it's a tag team match. It's a tag team match, and it takes 2 to tango. But Robbie, maybe he's not ready. Maybe he's not ready for. Maybe he's not cracked up to be in the syndicate.
No, he is.
He is.
He was
Why?
my first trainee of the new era. My
Mm.
first trainee when PXW came to us.
Mm.
He has earned his place amongst us. And failing once, that's fine. He's like a son to me. Hamada as well.
Not like
Both
the
are
one
like
guy that
sons.
came on here months ago, who we won't say his name, that was supposed to have been an heir apparent, but we won't go there. We won't mention his name.
Well,
we won't.
in our culture, in
Yes, sir.
Bodhiokadan terms, Oyabun is technically like a father in this family.
Mm.
My Kobun are my younger brothers or sons. They are the ones that carry out my orders as my right and left hand. Robbie is Lionheart. I dubbed him so. He is the right hand of the dragon. The left hand is Hamada. The right and left hand of the Dragon King. They carry out my bidding. And all the other members of the syndicate, they are just foot soldiers. But Hamada and Robbie Ryan will forever have a place in my family, as long as they show utter loyalty.
Long as they show utter and complete loyalty. Interesting that you use that, and I'm sure that is going to be something that's going to be a topic here over the next few weeks in Wrestling Zero. Let me get to some people here in the chat. We're playing out some more of the match while we get to people. People want to say hello. Taffy's Lounge is here, wants to say hello. If you are not tuned in here and you want to check out some low hi-fi beats, Taffy's Lounge is that place to be, closing in on 1,800 subscribers. Check him out. We'll put the YouTube up link for that later. I said hello, buying you some time to come in. Zilla did want to call you. Why is it not playing here? Now it should play here. Comments. No, it's not playing. There we go. Technology is an interesting thing. Zilla wants to not only call you the GOAT, she wants to call you the legend, the badass, and the leader of the syndicate, the Oyabun.
My official voice.
Now, is Zilla a syndicate member? Is Zilla part of those legions of people that you said you have in the syndicate?
Oh, of course she is Matsuda. She has shown undying loyalty to me even when I tried to cast them aside.
Hmm.
Zilla is the perfect explanation of what a true Kobun should be. My boys should learn from her. She has been the voice of my syndicate. She has been the voice of me for a long time, and she will continue to do so. She knows what greatness looks like.
Well, we'll get to some more comments and come back to that. Zilla would like to also say hello. Yes, thank you, Zilla. Yep, hello. Omen Black wants to say hello. Also, a man you referenced on Wrestling Zero TV at one point, Anthony Aries. Anthony Aries of FBW in the Backyard Wrestling Nexus, who we'll eventually see on the platform closer to the summertime. He's the afternoon guy, and afternoons have been a little tricky for me, but we're going to have him on sometime next month, and he'll have plenty to say what's going on in his end of the world. Also, a man that's here next weekend, next Wednesday, I should stand corrected. The brand new BYCW Intercontinental Champion. He's won it for the second time, Austin Edwards, who spelled radio wrong, but we'll give him a pass. Apparently, Omen Black wants to make a reference, which I'm not quite sure what the reference is, but I think I know what it is. Glad it's Yoshi on Saturday, Sportswire, because there can't be no other way. I'd rather end the day. There can't be no other way. Well, I mean, you might be right, because tonight it is Yoshi's day. So technically, it's
My
Omen's
boy
platform.
Omen,
And technically,
someone
yeah,
who knows what
there can't be
greatness
no
looks
other
like.
way. Well, technically, there can't be no other way.
No,
I think that's a reference to a guest a few days ago, but I'm gonna let it pass because I do still like my guest that was here a few days ago. But I am gonna say that he is right that there can't be no other way tonight. Yoshimatsu Matsuda, this is his time to be on Sportswire. Yeah, it's his time, and he's making the most of it. I still have my eyes open and look up and accept the truth. We're going to get to that. There's a comment toward that. Hello to Anthony Aries. Hello to Austin Edwards. And yes, that's right. That's Godzilla. I opened Felix's eyes. Everything is going according to the plan. We'll most certainly talk about that sometime next week on Sportswire or later in the week, depending on scheduling. I always love it when people get to see our plans unfold. Thanks to be Omen. Thanks be to Omen. And Ox McCoy, by the way, had a match in his own right. And I can tell you that match actually there
that
was.
man is a brute. He's
I tell you
amazing
what,
at
that
what he
man
does.
to break the fourth wall. That man, yeah, he literally. I wonder if his eyes are actually opened right now, literally, because the man what he and Kato did to each other. That was
That's
definitely.
that's what legitimacy looks like.
Yeah.
That is a man who has proven himself worthy.
Well, I mean, Kato and him have 40 plus years in the sport, and they certainly showed
They
that.
do.
And it was the first match I watched from last weekend's Rage in the Cage. And I think the second one I watched was Omen Black and Justin Parsley. Let me get to some more comments, though, especially now that I proved the one true king of the IMF and the one in this business. Well, we'll have to see about that. Brother Ox, these fools in Iowa are finally opening their eyes. Hello to Ox McCoy. Yes, thank you. Yes, hello to Ox. Felix Jones made the right choice and right decision to join the House of Wolves. And Felix Jones finally opened his eyes and looked up and accepted it. I see a lot of openings there. And you were Omen, all hail. Sean Jovi wanted to say hello. Just a hello. I think Sean Jovi had the best comment. Just a hello. That was the best comment. Hit the sub button for Wrestling Zero. I see a bunch of people here in the chat. We'd appreciate that. Kill shot. Bang, bang. Mr. Bang, bang. You're dead ops. You're dead ops. He's Bang Bang, and I haven't seen him in a while. And he does want to say hello. Hello to the last shot, kill shot. And also hi to Sean Jovi. Yes, hello to Sean Jovi. A man that you definitely referenced on Wrestling Zero TV, who I know you definitely probably have something to say to. I'm going to take this off the
No,
screen.
I
No?
have no animosity towards this man.
But, okay, no animosity to him.
He and I see very much alike.
You do.
I want to congratulate him on winning the BTW Rumble.
Yes.
This is a man I respect. This is a brother that I consider family. And if he ever came to Australia or Nippon,
but
I
yes,
would
now,
offer him a place.
but now,
in my
yesterday though was interesting because you were here yesterday, and a man that had competed for something that Comatose is going for next Tuesday, you didn't seem to be that as well warm toward that individual who was in your chair. I mean, I'm sure there's nothing
Oh
personal
no,
there.
I was warm towards him.
Warm.
Aaron and I are fine. There's no
Yes.
animosity there either.
But you weren't as
Comatose.
Comatose, his family, Comatose, he and I. You're welcome. Aaron, you've mentioned headline. You've
I would.
mentioned.
How many times have I said this? I would love to wrestle Aaron, not
Yeah,
just
yeah.
as a star, but as an opportunity for Japan and Australia to see the American talent.
You did ask him that question, to be fair. And he
I'm
did.
dying for it. I'm not coming to America though because who needs to waste their money flying across to the United States
Well, maybe
where
the tariffs are a problem for you right now. Maybe those tariffs
yeah,
weren't a good idea. My mutual,
I'd rather
objectively speaking, my mutual fund didn't agree with those tariffs actually either. They didn't.
I'd rather sit on a beach in Samoa
Yeah.
than go to a hellhole that is the United States.
Well,
No
you know what?
disrespect intended.
I'm sure Il Drago would probably agree with the Samoa
Oh
part.
yes. Oh
But
yes.
obviously, point taken. We'll come back to that. But yes, hello, Comatose. And he shared our link on Instagram, and I will accept his collaborating invite in a little while when we're off the air. Yep, and congratulations to the syndicate from the words of Zilla, although I know we're going to be talking about Warzone in a little bit. I don't know if I have a favorite wrestler, but Comatose is definitely a wrestler I enjoy watching and I enjoy on Sportswire Radio. That way I keep everybody happy. And Mama Comatose, I'm sure will be happy with that answer. Hello there. Killshot is giving us the Devil Eyes and the horns, and Aaron Blaze did that, but a different one. A man that you certainly have been here with this platform before a few times, Mr. James Taylor, who is always welcome here on Sportswire, and there can't be no other way. James Taylor is always welcome on Sportswire, and he may say things that some people like and some people don't like, but James Taylor has certainly got a mess on his hands in ROEW, and I'm glad that we are talking about Wrestling Zero tonight rather than his company.
Well, I mean, what we're doing here in Wrestling Zero is very much what Natural Selection is doing in ROEW.
But we have a plan, though. We have more of a plan here. I think James Taylor, though, he's got issues there that we don't have as much, respectively speaking. But
Yeah.
I'll leave ROEW to James Taylor and Natural Selection. We're going to certainly leave that at that. But we certainly will be following ROEW, and I'm sure that James will be back on Sportswire because there can't be no other way. And yes, thank you, Mama Comatose.
Hello, Mama Comatose.
Yes, we love seeing him. I want to see Yoshi and DMDU.
Didn't I just say I'm not coming to the United States?
You said Samoa. Okay, don't
No,
tell
no, no. I'm
OVW.
joking. If it ever happens, it happens. If people are willing to pay me to come, of course, cover my flight, cover everything, I'll come.
I
But
mean, I've heard that before. I've heard that. We'll have to say. I mean, obviously, certainly stay tuned. I suppose. I will certainly say that. Who else? Yep. Yeah. I think Mama Comatose answered her own question. Hello to James Taylor. Sure is a shame what Natural Selection did to the ROW arena. Yeah, they don't have an arena. We still, that's why I said we still have a ring. We still have a place to wrestle.
barely. I
They
mean, I
don't.
did that. I did that at the start of the series.
But they don't have one right now. Literally,
Oh
I mean,
yes.
they literally don't have one. We actually can still hold shows. Don't know what they'll do next. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Thank you. Yep. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. LOL. Yeah, Ox. It is a shame. Yeah, James Taylor talking about ROW Arena. Il Drago is here. Say his country, or is it island? It appears country.
Malo uso.
Yeah, I don't know if it's
Talofa
country
uso e.
island, but in my opinion, James, you got off pretty light. Jason must have still been a little tired from Rage in the Cage. Yeah, Jason was a part of that massacre of the likes of Justin Parsley, Damian Saint, and that's why we're not going down that road. We're going to certainly, I'm sure, talk about that in due time in a matter of days, maybe minutes. But James Taylor said natural selection will never disband. Well, they're not disbanding. That James Taylor may say they are, but they're not. Legitimate Ox McCoy. It's a good name. I really tagged myself. Wow. Well, there you go. But they are disbanded because I'm the boss, and I said so. Well, you know what? Jason Storm, Cash Carter, and Alex Cross probably don't agree with that. I'll leave that at that. I don't agree with you, but Malazilla like a real Samoan. Okay. It's good to see a fellow Japanese performer on the bill. It's time for Syndicate for Life. Killshot is definitely showing his loyalty tonight and where his allegiances are. Suplex Network, thank you very much for tuning in. Hit the sub button for
What's
us.
up, Shaq? I hope you're
Yes.
well, my friend.
Well, I hope you hit the sub button for us, and maybe one day you'll come on here to Sportswire and hit the sub
Oh,
button
you
for
should.
Wrestling News.
That
I would
man is
like to.
incredible in the
I
ring.
know. I've watched him in the ring many times. I'd like to have him on. And
I'd love to go to MXW one day, just as a
I
Japanese
know
performer.
that Mr. Reed has been there, and he's put a match up. I watched it was actually my last match of the year. I watched it was December 31st, 2024. I watched the match, and yeah, we'd love to have him on. Hopefully, he'd like to come on sometime. We'll talk to him. I think we follow each other on Instagram. I'll talk to Omen. We'll see if there can be the Northern House of Wolves. Thank you for the kind words. The legend, goat, and badass leader of the Matsuda Ryu Syndicate, the Oyabun Yoshimatsu Matsuda. I really appreciate it. Drago, much love and respect, brother. You're better than the foundation deserves. That'll be a topic, I'm sure, very soon here. Ox, I thought we were friends. That was a war song. Why can't we be friends? You don't want to help me take out Jason James. Professionally, we couldn't be more opposite. Maybe I need hooked on phonics. Personally, I respect the hell out of you. Okay, fair enough.
I
Uh,
speak two tongues and I speak better than you.
well, I always tell people
Oi.
my Brooklyn East. It's my Brooklyn
Oh,
East.
Ace, Shaq, offer me the contract and I will come.
Yeah, I
I will
mean, I
make
think
it
that
happen.
would be, that. Well, then you wouldn't be just a wrestling zero man. Then
No, no, Ace Shaq and I have history. Ace
yeah.
Shaq knows who I am. Ace Shaq competed for the same promotion I used to compete for.
Hmm.
Uh, we don't talk about it, obviously. I've said how many times I hate that promotion. But
Yeah. I know
Hey,
something about.
Shaq, if you ever need me for MXW, I will come gladly. I will gladly make the trip, and I will gladly step in an MXW ring and bring that Japanese fire that you've needed. Because Karasu the Red is nothing compared to an Oyabun.
Well, if you'd like to get in touch with Ace Shack and follow him, he has an Instagram page, and I would recommend that. Definitely, I wanted to break the ice there, and we'll make sure everybody follows him. Also, I'll come back to the rest of the comments before I come back here. Also, DMDU is Deathmatch Down Under, Australian
I
Deathmatch.
know, I know. I thought you were talking about coming to you, but I'm gonna do some deathmatch stuff eventually. But I don't want to ruin the fun. I don't want to ruin the fun.
Well, obviously, we'll let guys like Ox and Kato do that first, and then we'll piggyback. Understood, Ox. We appreciate that. Always good to see James. Always good to see people like Ox and Drago. And I've worked for DMDU a few times, and that's certainly an experience in itself. Wonder if there's a spot for me over there with Yoshimatsu Matsuda. Maybe I should leave the States. James has certainly had a tough
James,
last couple
come.
of days. So maybe
Make
that's where
the
James
trip.
should go. He's had a last tough couple of days for him. He certainly, he was definitely getting peppered a little bit, it seemed, a few days ago here on the show. And, he said a few things Wednesday. And maybe James now, this is where he should go. Maybe just, live in Australia. Maybe, you know what? That's going to be my plan for Warzone. My plan for you is you and James Taylor. That's it. That's the plan. I'm telling you, that's what I've had all along. That's my plan, James, because there can't be no
Oh,
other way. James
okay.
Taylor, that's going to be your mystery opponent at Wrestling Zero Warzone. He's going to compete against you. That's it. He's done. He's done here in America. He's leaving. He's folding up shop. And now he's coming to Australia, and you and him are going to run it back for years.
James, if you do come to Australia, you don't want to see what happens.
If he had, listen, he's had problems with Soldier GP, Justin Parsley. He's had problems with Anthony Steele. He's had problems with Jason Storm. But forget about it. Forget about that. This could be the end of his career, literally. So yeah, maybe he shouldn't come to Australia. Maybe he shouldn't. Maybe he shouldn't
I
though.
don't want to hurt my mentor.
Yeah, we
That
don't.
would, that would
Obviously,
hurt me.
don't hurt your elders. Don't hurt your elders. Certainly respect your elders. We don't want you to do that. I mean, because Dalton Skull's going to try to do it. He's going to try. Okay, we'll get to the next comment because something tells me here. Yeah, hell yeah, Ace. I'd love to come and get smacked with some skinny tubes. Yeah, those things hurt. They hurt. Trust me. Don't try it at home. It's okay, Ox. I shall accomplish great things on this path I chose to take, with or without the foundation. I'm still a chief and a tribal man that I promise to leave everyone oblivious. Good point. Yeah, Ace is a good dude. I've known Ace for a long time. He's the reason we connected. He's currently doing some pro training. Yes, he's been doing it for like what, about 7 months. I want to say about seven. I think since October.
He's
I think.
been training. He trained
Yeah,
the other
I
day.
I spoke to
He
him
did his
like a
ring
week and a
crew as
half
well.
ago. Yeah.
His ring
Yes.
crew for MCW as well.
Yep.
He's doing amazing. I'm proud of him, and
Yeah.
seeing him grow and become a warrior that I didn't expect. You know,
Me either. I remember him as
it's
just
just
a host of like Instagram lives. I remember
indeed.
him just like hosting Instagram lives with a lot of the different people that have come on here, and he's doing great. Yeah, he's been doing it for about 8 months, I think, training. So yeah, definitely Ace is awesome. We love Ace. We love Ace Shack, and guess what? The winner is Ace. But yeah, I definitely love to have Ace on here one of these days if he would like to. Yes, hit the sub button for Wrestling Zero. Follow Ace, and yeah, we don't want to mention places that we don't want to
Yeah,
mention.
no, I know it, Shaq.
Let's not do it.
If you ever need that Japanese,
But
fire for MXW, hit me up.
but James Taylor does this. He's not Japanese. He doesn't speak the language. How can he do that? That's not
Soyaro shinetana.
James Taylor not doing very good.
Oro
He's not doing very
oro
good.
kana ningen kami shineteki suru mono wa inai. Boku wa oyabun to Matsuda Ryu Syndicate. Matsuda Yoshimatsu. Alpha Taylor. Boku wa akami wa. Yes.
And James Taylor says he does speak Japanese, but I mean, why is he doing that? James Taylor, not very good right now. James Taylor needs to focus on ROW.
I responded in my native. What's with
He needs
I'm
to
breaking on Sportswire?
James Taylor, you need to focus on ROW. James Taylor, you have natural selection that has decimated your ring.
Stop before you get cancelled, man.
No, well, James Taylor really does have those issues. I mean, he really does have those ROW.
The drama with I don't even want to get into
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't.
I respect them and I know what they're doing, their business.
Yes.
I respect it. So to see Taff, running around screaming because he doesn't know what to do, that's exactly what we do in business. We ensure that chaos ensues so we can reign supreme and you have to run around trying to work out what happens.
Well, I mean, James Taylor does certainly have those issues. I mean, we have some issues in Wrestling Zero, but we're going to certainly come back to them in a minute and translate what I said.
I just responded in Japanese, James.
Yeah, I don't know, but well, I guess we'll let James figure that out. And yeah, James definitely has a tough job on his hands, and I know that I'll get to that. But before I come back to Wrestling Zero, I do have to ask you about music, keeping within this sort of breaking sort of slightly.
Break character a little bit, yeah.
Break a little bit. You got music. I got to talk about music, about the film, right? You mentioned it here in the chat a few days ago, and I got to talk about it.
Well, I've got an EP coming.
Okay.
Hasn't got a title yet, but it's going to be one you want to listen to. It is one of those projects that's not only Jersey drill, but Japanese drill at its finest. And, I recently dropped a song called TTS, Twitch Shit 4, which is a continuation of my Twitch Shit series, which are a bunch of songs. And
yeah, I got it right here, actually.
I dropped Super Heaven. I dropped the podcast Goat. They're all going to be on the album or the EP. But I have a lot of songs coming, and it's just taking time between the movie shoots, wrestling, and doing the music. It's very hard. I'm a very busy man.
Well, how do you juggle all that? For a minute, how do you juggle?
Well, running a syndicate takes most of my time.
I got that. I've spoken to you.
The music has died down a little bit, but we're gonna make a comeback, and I don't want to spoil anything.
I'll tell
I'm
you
not
what
even
I
going to
will
announce
talk
when it's
about
coming.
because I've actually been featured in some in Blabbermouth, which is the like heavy rock version of Rolling Stone. And I noticed that bands and artists they don't put out albums anymore. It's more about I'm putting out the song. I'm putting out one song at a time. Maybe I put out two or three because nobody buys albums anymore. Even if you're a charting artist. I read the other day that Billy Idol came back and he hit the top 10 and only sold 6,000 records. So really nobody buys music in terms of a full 10, 11, 12, 13 whatever song track you have for track by track on an album. So really the smart move is to come out with one single at a time because that's what people seem to want.
And that's what we're doing. We're just going to release the whole project as as a bunch of singles. And we noticed with the album last year that it flopped. As much as I wanted the Reclamation to succeed, it flopped.
You know
So
what? I think you know what? It's very tough in this day and age to people to sell records. It's listen. I just mentioned Billy Idol, right? He only sold 6,500 records in the first week. And that was the top 10 of the album sales, right? People, I've had these bands come on that had million selling, 2 million selling albums. And I asked them, and it was featured in blabbermouth.net. And I asked them, what's the process or when will you make new music? And, they gave me a political answer, which I expected. And it's very hard to come out and spend that time in a studio, go out there, put that effort, and nobody buys it. It's very hard to get people to buy music. I mean, it's just
that's
a tough
why I'm
thing.
blending the world of wrestling and music at the same time.
Well,
That's why
that's
I'm doing what I'm
well.
doing.
I mean, Chris Jericho worked. He got a gold single. I mean, he was one of the people that defied it. Judas was a gold single. I mean, so I think the track by track single thing is the way to go. I mean, I think that ultimately that's the way to go. I'll come back to a couple other things. Uh, James now gives us something in Japanese, and I
I'm not even going to respond,
okay,
James.
I'm
It's not
not
worth my
responding
time.
because I don't know. The man that was in your chair last Saturday, Silas Walker said, "Don't kayfabe yourself." Thank you, Silas. And Silas is always one of my friends. He's also a general manager like you. He's the DBW general manager, and boy, he was taking it on the chin a little bit from Aaron Blaze yesterday. Maybe he shouldn't watch the full show yesterday. Silas, take the approach like an artist do when it comes to new music. Just to listen to a few minutes when you weren't mentioned, and the same response. Give Yoshi a sub on YouTube. We got a bunch of people here in the chat. Go out and give him a sub. How you everybody doing? We're doing great. I mean, having a good time on a Saturday night, talking wrestling, talking different things, and you know, a great day. I mean, I don't know what else. I hope you're doing well, my man, and I'll see you next month. I'm looking forward to you back. And yes, now maybe we should conduct the show. You know what? I think what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna, what? Because we're having a lot of problem with wrestling. Anyway, I'm gonna let Taylor. I'm gonna let Killshot interview. They can talk to you in Japanese. I'm gonna really leave the show because I think that's the way to go. So I'm gonna let them come on. They can interview you. You guys can talk in Japanese. Maybe we'll figure out what happens at Warzone next, and maybe we'll be happy. And maybe you won't kill what's left of the roster, and maybe Wrestling Zero will succeed in the way you want because these guys can talk to you in a language that you'll better respond to. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's the plan. Maybe that's the plan. I don't
Let's
know.
keep it in English for these commoners.
I would
They don't
appreciate that because
understand.
I need it. But yes, hello to Silas and James Taylor continues to talk here in this. Yes, I mean it might be
Nandemo.
America. Are we in
Nandeska.
America? What do people say? America? They call it America or something like that. I don't know. But
I
yeah,
have to agree with Ox here. Speak English.
well, I have to say
Half
that
the fans don't understand Nippon. It's okay when I speak it because I'm from there, but bro, just
I mean, I don't know what to say. I do know that. Let's try to get back on track. Ox, at least, maybe this is making him feel better. Killshot is at least going the extra mile in translating. I'm going to translate this for you, Tom, to help you understand. My loyalty is to one team and one team only. That is the cult, but my respect mutually it to Matsuda Sensei because we know
I said
Killshot,
arigato
he's a
gozaimashita.
part of his own group, which, reminds me before I do transition to Wrestling Zero for the remaining parts of the show. I actually have to open up a couple of packages, which actually might impact Killshot. I have two
But
packages I have to open up. Yeah, but let me get to more comments. Tom, this is what I said. Translation: Natural Selection is disbanded, and Jason Storm is stopped, and ROEW is taken over.
do you need a cleanup crew? I am very talented in waste management.
Natural Selection is disbanded. Jason Storm is stopped. ROEW is back. Come on, Yoshi, you can translate. I said, well, he said he
I
didn't
know.
want to.
I'm not wasting my time. I've got
Yeah,
better
we
things
wanted
to
to.
do.
We listen. I gotta listen. I do have to get to Warzone, and I gotta get to go with because I gotta open up these packages. If I don't, I'm gonna be taken off the air. I gotta take and I gotta get to them. So I got these packages. Maybe
Maybe
you're
I
gonna
should get. Maybe I should
maybe
get Fukutsu Sato. Actually, I have a. Why don't I swap with a friend of mine?
yeah,
Wait,
swap with the friend because I think this you might be detonating me for obviously decisions that you haven't liked all the time on Wrestling Zero TV. So this might be the case. So I'm gonna open this here. I got two packages.
I'll call in the belt holder.
Yeah, you hold
Give
them.
me 5 minutes.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm gonna open this here, and boy, it's not a nuclear bomb. It's not James Taylor or somebody else upset with me, or maybe Omen Black. It is his show, right? Boy, this is really no. Here we go. Well, this is well, booby trap race. Oh boy, look at what we got here. How about this? We got a sit down Marks sticker, which is a podcast on my internet radio station. They gave me a bunch of bumper stickers. Boy, they gave me business cards. Oh boy, oh my god. Yeah, well, this is crazy. You know what? This you just never know what you get on Sportswire. We got that. I got a pen. I got a sticker, and I got another pen. And yeah, we really love pens on Sportswire. And yes, I'm gonna get to you in a minute. I have to open up this other package because if I don't, spit it on. No, we don't want to spit anything, Ox. I don't think my saliva is worth much right now. But I got. Wait a minute. I think I know what this is. This is a Nathaniel Rage shirt. House of Rage. But you know what? And that was somebody else that the one. Yes, thank you for the pen. I will give you the pen in a minute. But Unga Bunga. Yes, Unga Bunga. Technical difficulties. Yeah, this is opening that box. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Nathaniel Rage. Nathaniel Rage, the man that is one of the premier promo wrestling artists, a man that James Taylor has famously battled and defeated in a promo wrestling match. And yes, I'm going to be wearing this shirt tomorrow. So I'll be wearing this. Thank you, everybody. And yes, hello there. Now, why are you here? What are you doing? You do tell me. Yes, now I can't say. Yoshi, so Yoshi's the greatest of all time, right? So Yoshi is the greatest of all time. He's the greatest. So there should be nothing left for us to do in wrestling. Do you think maybe at Warzone that maybe we should just call off the mystery opponent? You want me to call it off because, I am the commissioner of it? Me have belt. You do have a belt. Yes, you do have a belt there on the top. You might want to take the belt off your head and maybe show it to the audience. I know it, but yeah, okay, don't do that. Don't definitely don't do that. Yeah, you know what? Definitely. Yes, there you go. Yes, flip it around the other way around. The unga bunga. Flip it. You got the upside down. Yeah, upside down. Think it. Yeah. Now there you go. Yeah, it's not quite a toy. I mean, but you want to flip the title around. There you go. Now we got to see it. That's much better. Yes, you are the Unga Belt champion. Yes, the champ is here, and definitely, we are really, really excited to see that belt the way it is. And yeah, just
me defend belt, me champion.
Well, you are definitely the champion, and you definitely are the talk, and definitely Yoshi is GOAT, right? So Yoshi, yes. Oh boy, you're gonna, don't eat the microphone. Don't eat the microphone. Don't do it. Don't eat that microphone.
Me go, me be back.
You come back. Yes, you don't want to eat the microphone. We want you to be on Wrestling Warzone TV. Yes, we want that. Yes, and you know what? Technical difficulties are a thing. You know, Nathaniel Rage definitely cues that in. But if you are here, hit the sub button for Wrestling Zero. Follow them on Instagram. We have Warzone coming up, and we have definitely seen a lot here over the past hour or so with Yoshimatsu Matsuda. We are going to get to the last part of the show here shortly. Yeah, I'm very excited. What were you excited about? Me talking to Unga Bunga, or I don't know what you could be excited about. As long as you are killing anybody like you did, but you and Kato was even keeled.
I'm still trying to understand what Unger just did, but
I don't know what he did, but obviously did bring the championship. But you know what? I gotta talk about for the remaining part of the show. I have to get to business with you because we do have Warzone coming up, and you have a mystery opponent, and you are getting a mystery opponent here coming up. And now it's time to cut to the chase for that. You've talked about wanting an appearance here. You've talked about that now you want the stage. Well, guess what? It's coming up. It's coming up here. You are putting up that Wrestling Zero Championship, and you're going to be getting a mystery opponent. And it's a former champion. That's all we can say, right? It is a former champion.
His belt behind.
Well, you know what? Yeah, you might want to give that belt, but you do that at a different time. But you have a former champion, sir, that you're going to be squaring off with.
I have a feeling on who it is. I have a very, very... And you could scroll down for my response if you'd like.
I can. I you know what? I was putting the poster up for a minute, but I will. Yeah, you weren't impressed. I got that.
I know exactly who it's going to be, and I have a feeling it's a man who's gotten in my way before.
A man who has gotten in your way before. Well, I mean, you're going to get some competition here. What you've done here the last month, no question, you've certainly raised the bar. No question, you've pushed the board of directors buttons. No question, you've certainly dropped Sportswire. You've dropped my name a few different times. And now you're going to get some competition here coming up. Now we're going to see if you are really going to be on this path you've talked about here tonight, which is to burn Wrestling Zero to the ground and rebuild it in the way that you want Wrestling Zero to be. And before you do that, you've got a roadblock here come. You said you're undefeated. You haven't been pinned yet. Well, we're going to see if that winning streak continues. We're going to see if you continue to be a double champion, and we're going to continue to see if you continue to be one of the standard bearers of this industry, but most importantly, the standard bearer here in Wrestling Zero. Yeah, I mean, we're obviously going to see. I mean, you don't have to say anything. We're going to just find out coming up in a matter of days. It's going to be imminent that you're going to get an opponent. We're going to see Warzone.
I don't need to say anything because
you
know who it is. I know who it is.
We're going to let the audience find out. We're going to let them find out. We're going to let them find out
Let's just say those three simple words will no longer be uttered. Once I am done with him once again, there will be no more destruction.
You may say that, but that person's going to be motivated. All I'm going to say is that they're going to be motivated. They've seen what you've done recently. They've seen your actions, and this is going to be a test. You know, you talked about that syndicate members passed the test, right? They passed the test. You said it on Wrestling Zero TV. You said it on here, right? You talked about that they passed the test, right? Well, now you have a test for a change. You have a test here coming up for your championship, a mystery opponent with somebody that you have a history with. And we're going to see if you're going to pass it.
Oh, I'm going to pass it.
Yeah.
With flying colors. Because this belt will never be around his shoulders. This belt will never go anywhere else but me. And he thinks he can constantly come in and get title shots, disappear for a few months and come back. Where was he after we were done last year? Nowhere. And now he wants to come back, make his presence known. I want a title shot. He whinged to you about it, and now he's got it. Well, I'm going to give him a Warzone match to remember. It'll make a Shiga survival match look like a play
Ooh, and
date.
we know what you did there. We know what you did there against a man that we're not going to certainly talk about what you did about 4 months ago there. We definitely remember that match very well. There is certainly no question that certainly speaks for itself. But that person, like I said, they're motivated. They've seen what you've done. They've seen what Wrestling Zero is becoming. And this is their opportunity to show that they can pass that test. And this is going to be the test that you might get stumped on. We're going to find out. I mean, we're going to find out. It's all we can do is find out.
Indeed.
Well, yeah. Well, it means a lot to you to be a double champion. You talked about tonight what that means to you. You talked about on Wrestling Zero TV about being the GOAT. You talked about being the standard bearer in this industry. You've talked about, which I agree with you. Everything in Wrestling Zero is real. In Wrestling Zero, we do things differently here in Wrestling Zero. We have a style. We have a way we
Sure
present
is.
our product. But now that's all on the line here. You're a double champion. You're the standard bearer. We do things a certain way. And like I said, that's all going to be on the line. This means a lot to you. But guess what? We're going to see it Warzone in a matter of days if this will continue.
It will.
It will.
Because it's not a spoiler. That's a promise. I'm going to make sure that this man no longer mentions my name.
No.
No longer speaks the same breath as me. Because when I'm done at Warzone, it'll be 1, 2, 3, any means necessary, and still your Wrestling Zero champion, the God, the undisputed, the undeniable, the undefeated, Matsuda Yoshimatsu. Because there's one thing that I've made clear over the past few months. That this world is my enemy. Fuck the world. Dead ops. They're all dead to me. All of them.
They're dead ops. Well, you use that dead ops again, and only time will tell. What does it mean to you to be the PXW and the Wrestling Zero champion before we get ready to sign off?
Well, it feels good. It feels damn good that I'm at the top once again, and that the rest of the industry is sitting by crying because I've conquered 2 countries. That I am a 2-time PXW champion. That I am a back-to-back-to-back winner of the Tenkaichi Budokai, which is coming up in 2 weeks. And I am a... You know what? No, we don't need to count how many times I've held this because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many times you hold the belt. It matters how long you hold it. And I am going to be your forever champion, meaning there will be no more days counted. You will just count the centuries.
So you could say that Warzone here coming up is a tune-up for that here in 2 weeks.
Indeed.
It's a tune-up.
And I'll make it here clear known. Champions are meant to compete in the tournament, but Tom, I think you and I both know that the fans would want me to compete in my tournament. So I'm going to enter myself into the Tenkaichi Budokai.
You're entering yourself. You're entering yourself in this, and you're declaring it here.
I will be the first entrant into the Tenkaichi Budokai, the 4th annual. And then I'll go back to back to back to back, and I'll main event Revolution Night 2. And then Ace Reed, that title's mine.
Well, Ace Reed, what did I say a little while ago? Ace Reed is still on your mind. That's a man that destiny is still between you two one more time to go at it.
It makes more sense for me to fight the man I'm fighting next week.
Oh, we're gonna. Oh,
Just
yeah, and
fight
we're gonna
this guy.
definitely when. I am very excited for people to see that match. I am very excited for people to see what's in store here for our friends in Wrestling Zero. And if you have not yet had a chance, please hit that sub button for Wrestling Zero. You must hit that sub button for Wrestling Zero. Wrestling Zero has a lot coming up here. War zones and days. We have the tournament right afterwards. We are going to have more Wrestling Zero coverage next month here on Sportswire. So we're going to get you ready, and we're going to talk about the fallout from all of this here in a matter of days. So you need to join right away. That's what you know right away. Get that notification, and all you got to do is just click on it, and you're going to see some of the very best that we have in our industry here at Wrestling Zero. I'm telling you, you will most certainly want to check all of that out. So please do that there. Hit the sub button for our friends in Wrestling Zero. You have said a lot tonight. You have talked about declaring that Wrestling Zero is going to burn to the ground. You have declared that the likes of Robbie Ryan are loyal to you. You've talked about loyalty, whether it's in English, whether it's in a different language. You've talked about that they will do what they need to do to keep you where you are. You've also talked about in due time, you will get those tag team championships. And you've talked about who is going to be your opponent next because you know who he is. I know who he is. We're going to find out. And you have declared yourself to be the GOAT of this industry. And you've also declared why you are a martial artist above everything else. A martial artist. You are competing against almost yourself in so many ways rather than peers in this industry or even those in our company, Wrestling Zero. So I'm going to give you the opportunity here to say any other words or any final thoughts before I give you closing words.
Well, before I move on to the next thing, movie's been delayed. It'll probably be out next year. Timing and stuff, we're still filming away.
Right.
We're sorry about that, obviously. Can't change the scheduling. Everyone's just got their own lives. But back onto track. Everyone has seen, heard, and witnessed. No, that's the same thing. Smelt my actions. They've smelt the blood. They've smelt the pain in the air. They've seen what I've done to these people. These so-called wrestlers that have been pinnacles in this industry for so long. They have failed. For those that thought they were better than me, they have realized that I wasn't the guy they thought I was. Kumi's loss turned him down a dark path. Well, no, I was always on this path. I just played the role perfectly. That's what makes me a good actor. Because I played you all. Pulled the wool over your eyes. The injury was legitimate, but I made a comeback because the injury wasn't as bad. I think everyone knew that. But I had to pull the wool over your eyes for long-term storytelling. And that story is mine. Wrestling Zero has always been the Yoshimatsu Matsuda Izanagi story. It has never been your story or anyone else's. It has been the story of a warrior who came back from obsolete to become the GOAT. Torn apart, injured by a place that he gave his life for. Returned to Japan, became a warrior, and then returned home to become the GOAT. What you witness next week will be the first step in my final road to Final Showdown 4, where I will decimate my opponents and I will keep the belts, and then Wrestling Zero will go away, and then BWDU will be next. I'm going to conquer this industry. I'm going to destroy it all because Arashi wasn't wrong. This world needs to be reset. But I won't destroy it. I will destroy it enough so that the few last breathing men and women left can witness what I build from the ashes.
Well, we'll certainly find out. Will Yoshimatsu Matsuda get what he wants in burning Wrestling Zero down to the ground and eventually BWDU, which he is also the general manager for? I don't know about BWDU, but I do know Wrestling Zero. And I know that before Mr. Matsuda looks to achieve his goal, he's got an opponent coming up who he knows very well, and he's going to see him in a matter of days. So before he tries to achieve that goal, he's still got to get through that opponent to keep that Wrestling Zero championship. So we'll most certainly see. We'll certainly see what the rest of the syndicate does. And we'll certainly see one day if we'll see Ace Reed again. And we'll certainly see those tag team champions who did prove they were world class. But Mr. Matsuda said he's had a plan the entire time. He has said that in due time he'll get to all of that. And he certainly, for a reason, has molded the syndicate in the way he has. And there is no doubt that Yoshimatsu Matsuda's return to Sportswire Radio, he has certainly said a lot. He has commanded a lot. And now it'll be remained to be seen in the next few days what we will see from the syndicate to help him achieve these goals. Yeah, I mean, listen, you know what? Maybe that's going next. I mean, at this point, I have no idea, but I am going to, yeah, I mean, you might want to take him out too. You might want to, I mean, let's not even talk about Rich Man. Let's not even talk about him. Yeah, let's not. Oh, well, it's time to give you closing thoughts. I think it's time to pass the baton. Also, new music is imminent. The Wanna Buy single that'll coming out. It's on Yoshi's YouTube page. We'll put that link up here one more time before we go. I'm going to pass the baton to you in the meantime. Anything else that you want to plug, share, or say, you most certainly can do that and take it away.
Go buy Dubby.
Yes.
Use code Wrestling0 for 10% off.
I do also notice one of our friends, Dave Jameson, who was on here, actually is also sponsored by W. So actually, we're not the only one.
Look at the image on the back of my Jin Bayori.
Wow. That is definitely gold. It's full of gold.
Let's remember that it was blue and white the last time
I
appeared.
I do remember
and
that.
It will be blue and white on Wrestling Zero, but this is a recent change.
Well, I like the change.
That it is the Matsuda clan mod. And it says power, prosperity, and strength on the back. But out of that, you obviously don't have time to hear anything about that. So let me speak in layman's terms.
Well, obviously, we'll give you that opportunity to say what you like. And while you come back, he has an Instagram page. Follow him on Instagram. And we just did get a new subscriber in Wrestling Zero. So that's also a great achievement. But yes, you can now speak.
Was this your plan, Kumi? To turn me aside and allow the world to witness my fall? Was this your game plan, my love? To side with the Kami? Or was this just a ploy by the rest of the world to stop me from achieving greatness? My dear, I've said a lot of things in the past few weeks about you. But now I see you aren't the enemy. My enemy is every one of you. Everyone who's doubted the Matsuda Ryu. Everyone who has ever said that I couldn't do this. I beat people up for this. I didn't plan it out. The thing is, between you and I, Tom, I've proven myself worth everything I've said. Everyone who's witnessing now is about to see what happens at Warzone when I destroy their chosen son. Rest in peace to professional wrestling. Rest in peace to this industry. Because they're all dead ops. All of them.
And ladies and gentlemen, he's walked off the stage because he's had enough. He has nothing left to say. But guess what, Yoshimatsu Matsuda? You will have some action to speak for your words here tonight, because you will be in the ring at Wrestling Zero's next show, Warzone, where you will be defending that Wrestling Zero championship. And we'll certainly see if everybody's dead ops. We'll certainly see if being a martial artist and running the syndicate the way you have will lead Wrestling Zero down the rabbit hole and being burnt to the ground. Time will most certainly tell. But if you're here right now, hit that sub button for our friends in Wrestling Zero. We got a lot of people here in the chat tonight. Ace Shack, want to thank you. Want to say hello to our friends in BCW. Maxwell Reeves and Tsunami are here this coming Wednesday. Very excited about that. Hit the sub button for Wrestling Zero. We'd really appreciate that. Instagram, Wrestling Zero. Also, Yoshimatsu Matsuda's got an Instagram page. He's also got a YouTube page where he's got some music. We definitely want to make sure you follow the syndicate and find out where you can get new music. Also, movie will be out next year. Check out all of that. But in the meantime, there is nothing else left to say. Nothing else matters, to quote Metallica, because Yoshimatsu Matsuda, what's left for him is now to defend that Wrestling Zero championship at Warzone against an opponent. Well, it may be a mystery, but guess what? He and I know who it is. But thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, where all music and wrestling matters. If you're here on Sportswire Radio, hit that sub button for us. We are now just a handful of subscribers away from 1,500. So we'll have that show, 1,500 subscribers show imminently, it seems like. But in the meantime, tomorrow I'm here, 9 o'clock Eastern time with Colton Lee, the Heartless Sheriff of DBW. Monday night, Timothy Titan, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. So check out all of that. But until then, thank you so much, everybody. Have a great night and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one global radio station, the Sports Radio, where all music and wrestling matters. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Hit the sub button for Wrestling Zero, and please support Yoshi Matsuda for his pages on Instagram and YouTube, where you can check out Yoshimatsu Matsuda and all the other things he's doing outside of the wrestling world. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your support over the past several years, and I'll see you tomorrow.